Hi everyone, this is another video in which I'm going to offer advice for people who are off to university, and this video is about managing living away from home. I think the main concern that anyone has when they kind of leave home as such for the first time is homesickness. I didn't really experience this when I went to university, but when I was younger I was of a nervous disposition, you could say, and I really found it hard to be away from home a lot of the time, and I used to get really homesick at the beginning of even family holidays with my parents. I didn't like actually being away from home. So I understand that adjusting to a new environment can be really difficult. And firstly, I'm going to talk in the context of parents, and something that's really important to remember is however hard you find it to move away from home, your parents are finding it a bazillion times harder. So I really don't think it's a good idea to cut them out. I know that you can get kind of caught up in the whole university thing, especially at the beginning, but if your mum texts you to see how you are, you should reply because it just stops her worrying. I probably take it to the next level in that me and my mum talk most days, and I've spoken to her most days I've been at uni since I moved to uni 2 years ago. So maybe not take it that far if you don't want to do that, but make sure that you do keep them posted on how you are. Another piece of advice I would give is that if you are feeling really homesick and kind of upset, and this combined with overtiredness has just made you feel rubbish, I really do not recommend phoning home, because you're going to hear your parents' voices and it's going to make you feel 10 times worse. Chances are you just need a distraction. So if you are feeling like that, rather than kind of contacting your parents, contact a friend from home, or even find someone in halls or a new friend that you can talk to, because chances are that you're just going to feel better from talking about it. And when you ring up your parents crying, it's so much harder for them than it is for you, even if you're the one who's upset. And I just think it can make the whole thing more, just feel worse. This is something I experienced a few times growing up. Even if I was staying at my grandparents, I'd sometimes get I'd get a lot of anxiety, separation, all of that. Separation anxiety from being away from my mum, and ringing her would just set me off. So try not to use that as a first resort. Maybe a last resort. If you genuinely want to come home, then obviously ring your parents, but until it gets to that point, don't contact your parents because it's just going to make you feel sadder. On the topic of that, I was discussing this with someone. I feel really bad because I can never remember usernames, but this person will know who they are. They're the one who requested this video, and I was discussing it with them in the comments, and they asked whether or not I agreed that you shouldn't go home in the first week or so of university, and I do completely agree, because you just want to settle in. And I really think that I say this in all of these videos, that you should just do everything you can at the university. I don't think going home is a positive contribution to that. I really think you should kind of detach yourself from home right at the beginning, just so you can settle in and come to terms with a new home. So maybe wait a couple of weeks before you do go back, especially if you do find it hard to settle in. Obviously it'll be harder for you not to do that, but I do think it's more important that you don't, because it will just give you the best chance you have of feeling like you have got a new home. Homesickness aside, there's a lot of other things that I think are good things to go by when you're living away from home for the first time. You're not going to have anyone to nag you to go to bed. That doesn't mean you shouldn't go to bed. I've said in my video about Freshers Week that I think you should have really late nights, but once you start your course, I mean, maybe not so much for the first year, and maybe you shouldn't quote me saying this because it might not be like the most admirable outlook, but at most universities, first year work doesn't count your final degree. So as much as I genuinely believe you should work your hardest, because you want to see kind of where you're at and what you're capable of, and also it does give you a good feel for writing university style essays, I don't think that you should miss out on anything because of that. However, when you're in your second and third year, you might not live with mum and dad, but get yourself to bed at a reasonable time, because all the work counts to your final degree, and after all the thousands of pounds you're paying are for that piece of paper, and you want to have a good grade on that piece of paper, and you're not going to get a good grade if you're doing all-nighters every single night for 2 years. Another thing I think is quite important is that you eat right. I gained a lot of weight in first year, as commenters do like to tell me sometimes, because I got a bit carried away by takeaways, which is to be expected. I don't think I know anyone who didn't gain a bit of weight during first year, but if you don't eat fruit and vegetables and nutritional stuff, you're going to get really ill. And you might not have your mum telling you this every single day, but I still think that managing being away from home is kind of keeping a bit of parents' responsibility on your own shoulders, just to make sure that you stay healthy, really. I understand that this isn't something that I can really say for everyone, because everyone's money situations are completely different. I mean, some of you will be relying on student finance, some of you will have parents paying, some of you will get grants, some of you won't, some of you will be doing a bit of all of the above. But I would say that if you have got a severe money problem, don't be scared to tell your parents, because even if it is because you've spent your money unwisely and got into hundreds of pounds of debt, as I know people who have done, my own friends included, if you've got that worry and you feel like you've got no way out of it, it's really going to damage your health, because money problems can make people ill. And I feel like I didn't realise this properly until I was living away from home and had to kind of manage my own bank account, because I was buying my own food and stuff like that. But I think if you do get worried about feeding yourself, you should contact your parents and let them know. They might not have the money to give to you, but they're the ones who will be able to help you through it. And to be honest, before you go to university, it's very unlikely that you'll have had to face that sort of concern. So just make sure that you feel like you can go back to your parents and just say, I need help, because sometimes you will, and that's just life. I think I've covered the most important things that I can think of when it comes to managing living away from home for the first time, and I hope all of this info was useful to you. Let me know. If you've got any other questions about it, feel free to leave them in the comments below, or you can email me. My email address is jossie@akiojellybean.co.uk. If you have any video requests for more of this kind of series, also let me know and I will make them. The next video is going to be about managing the workload, unless I get another request that's kind of more applicable to people who are just starting university, in which I will make that first. If you're one of the people that's already started, I hope it's all going well. Let me know how it is going, because I know a lot of people who moved in on Sunday. I know other people aren't starting till October, so there's still a bit of time left for you. But I hope it's all going well. Let me know. Let me know if you have any more questions or any more video ideas, and I will see you all soon. Bye!